What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday Eve. It's Thursday edition of Big Games BS, brought to you by Dim Media Group, presented by thehumidor.com. Thehumidor.com is a go-to website for all things tobacco related, cigar related, humidors, cutters, cigars, lighters, boxes, anything you want. Make sure you go to thehumidor.com and at checkout type in sports den so that you can get 20% off. Basically the same thing every day. It's just already reasonably priced. In a world where everybody's battling inflation and things are going up, thehumidor.com is trying to keep things down so that you and I can continue to enjoy one of the best pastimes in American history. Cigars. I guess everybody smokes cigars, so it's not just really American history, but whatever, man. We haven't been on for quite some time, so 1,000 apologies on my part. Just been busy, been traveling, so gonna catch you up with some things that were going on with me. First and foremost, I hope everybody had a wonderful Father's Day, and even some of you crazy people that don't understand the date of Father's Day changes every year. Like every year, Father's Day changes, but specific dates don't change. Like Christmas is December 25th every year. And got news for you guys who don't know. If you believe in the book and you believe in the different events that happened in that book, Jesus was more than likely born in the spring. He wasn't born Christmas. Like that was from a Roman pagan holiday where a bunch of rich people got drunk and had sex with each other. When they were trying to get more people to convert to Christianity, they took a lot of Roman or pagan holidays to be able to get the guys over. Not knocking you, celebrate that. I have a friend who's born on the 25th. Sometimes Christmas falls on a Sunday, sometimes it doesn't. It kind of sucks. Easter, that's the day that Jesus, again, if you believe it, that's when he died. It changes every year. It goes from March to April to mid-April. I have no idea the reasons why. I just know it changes. Some years Easter is this day. Some years Easter is that day. It's just how the cookie crumbles. MLK's birthday is a specific date. We celebrate the MLK holiday. I believe it's the third Monday in the third Monday is it June? Yeah, third Monday in June. Doesn't matter how it falls. It's literally the third Monday in June is when MLK is. If your birthday happens to be on January, January, your birthday happens to be January 18th that year, and it happens to be the third Monday, I'm sorry. The black guy's holiday is on your birthday, man. There's nothing that can happen. Next year, you'll get it all to yourself. President's Day is a combination of a bunch of presidents' birthdays that were born in February. Got news for you. It changes every year, bro. It's one of those. Thanksgiving. I have a friend whose birthday falls. Shout out to my guy Mike. His birthday every 6 years or so, or something like that. Don't quote me on the date. His birthday falls on Thanksgiving. Wow. It sucks because you can't celebrate your birthday. But are we supposed to not celebrate the day that we took America started taking America from the Indians because of his birthday? I say this to say is that Juneteenth happened to fall on Father's Day. Why can't we celebrate more than one thing? And actually, Juneteenth observed was on Monday. So what the craziness of this past weekend, besides, me, again, I'm going to let one, Father's Day, and a comedian, was it Ali Sadiq? Am I saying it right, Miles? Yeah. Ali Sadiq has this great joke. He's got a ton of great bits. Very dark. His life is dark, but I like dark humor. And again, shout out. I'm gonna retweet it. It is a thread on Twitter of dark humor. You'll get lost for hours if you love it. You people who don't know how to laugh at bad situations, feel grateful that your life has been so good that you haven't had to see the joy so that you didn't have to cry. Like some of us have lived some fucked up lives, and the only way we can get through it It's through laughter. So I congratulate you. Don't really give a fuck about your opinion. The dark humor thread is amazing. But Ali's been to prison and different things like this. But he said the top two holidays are Christmas and Mother's Day in America. And this is true. You saw Mother's Day commercials, Zales. I got hoodwinked into buying all the women in my life who are mothers. They got this little like mama bracelet or some shit like that where you can get like a little pendant that you add to it every year. Some bullshit. It's nice. None of them wear it, but they do their thing. You get roses. Fathers across America that are involved. This isn't for you mothers who made a bad choice. You made that choice. You let that man shoot your club up, and before recently, you had every resource to make sure that that man did not have the ability to procreate anybody else, but you chose to keep that motherfucker. So I don't want to hear your mouth. And now you new age chicks, you got plan B. You could just go, you could just go pop a pill right afterwards if you don't want that guy in your life, but whatever. But the good fathers are making sure, hey, you better go, boy, go in there and wake your mother up. You cook a breakfast. Hey, go hand your mother this plate. Did you get your mom in the macaroni yard? Did you do this? Oh my God, you didn't get your mother any. Fathers stress to make sure that mothers get the respect and the stuff that they need. That same Ali Siddiq joke, Father's Day falls in 20th behind President's Day. And according to some of you guys, it falls at 21st behind Juneteenth. Now, again, Juneteenth is a black celebrated holiday about the freedom of slaves in Texas after they had been free for the Civil War had been done for 2 years. Nobody knew. They did not know that. Don't know if you realize this, but they didn't really let people like me read back then. So like it wasn't like you could pick up a newspaper and say, we's free. So like somebody literally has to tell you that you're free. And I'm not mad at the people who own the property because they were just like, hey, I'm going to keep getting this free labor as long as I can, because what are they going to do? Because for you guys who don't know, black people couldn't even sue a white person back in those days, let alone try to buck up against them. So like, again, if we taught American history the right way, or I implore everybody to go to Washington, D.C., not just to go try to take over the Capitol. Sometimes, like, next time you guys want to do your insurrection, en route to the insurrection, stop by the African American Museum and go and be open. Yo, that was terribly dark, Miles. I don't know if anybody heard that, but Miles said, "And do what?" Like, no, go on a tour. You go from the bottom, from slavery's roots, and you kind of come all the way to see where the country has come from. It's very enlightening. You'll see why American slavery was difficult and much different than everybody else. But go check that out. But I don't even really care if you celebrate it. I don't care if you believe it. All holidays are made up. Every holiday, including Father's Day. And it's a holiday that nobody cares about. It's our running joke as fathers, is what we've earned, that nobody gives a shit about us on our day. So, like, why are you people so, like, Florida's the first one I noticed, and then I noticed there's a trend. My alma mater put up 2 posts on this past Sunday. Dos postos, if you're Spanish. They put up Happy Juneteenth. And oh my God, you would have thought that somebody kicked their great grandfather in the testicles. The comments on social media. Holy shit. What is wrong with some of you people? Forget going into the deep, dark, kind of borderline racist stuff. A lot of it was, oh, do you have to celebrate it on Father's Day? So that's the only person who does kind of have a defense. In theory, it is June 19th. June 19th fell on a Sunday. You technically wouldn't have been wrong to post it on Monday, because that was when we all observed the holiday. It was Juneteenth observed. That happens. But like it's just kind of like July 4th. When July 4th falls on a Saturday, they either give you the Friday or the following Monday off. Nobody bitches and complains that July 4th didn't fall on a Monday or didn't fall on a certain day. It's just kind of the way shit happens. But even then, we're going to celebrate July 4th. I thought we liked celebrating freedom in America. Like, do you realize what we do? And it took a British comedian to point this out. Every July 4th, The rest of the world, Europe for the most part, has to sit and watch as we publicly celebrate the divorce from our ex for over 200 years. People tell us to forget about slavery. It was so long ago when it was only 100. It was less than 150 years ago. Anyways, it wasn't that long ago. It was about 150 years ago. And to be honest with you, after slavery happened, magic sprinkle dust didn't come across the world and good things happened. We had the Civil Rights Act that we had to keep passing, to keep making amendments, to keep doing stuff to let people know that, hey, these colored people are free. It is dope. We like celebrating free. We pop fireworks on 4th of July. We celebrate. I mean, we do reenactments. We go above and beyond to let the Brits know that we whoop that ass. And you got to see it. Hot dogs, baked beans, which they love so much that they eat them for breakfast. We just put that shit on hot dogs and say, bitch, what? So Juneteenth and having now all men are free, like the backlash is wild. But here's the craziest thing. It was all PWI. So it was FSU, I saw Alabama, I saw Auburn, I saw Florida, I saw a bunch of colleges. Have you ever looked at the university that's your favorite university that you cheer for? This is from my white audience. Like, have you ever you noticed something about that football team? About 80% of these guys wouldn't have been free until that day. You think the university gives a fuck about what you got to say? You gonna come back. They're trying to, yes, if you think it's pandering, yes, it's pandering. It's smart pandering. It's just as smart as the father making sure that the mother gets her Mother's Day gift. You better believe you're going to go say that, hey, because if you don't do it, you know what that coach from the other university is going to do? Hey, Florida coach is going to come into the living room and be like, hey, man, did you see Florida State? They didn't even think to say happy Juneteenth. We've been celebrating Juneteenth in my family for the rest of the year. They're going to use that in negative recruiting. So now you're going to be mad at the white coach at the white university for not getting the black kid because he didn't say happy Juneteenth because he knew it was going to make your white sorry ass mad. Meanwhile, you can't pick up a ball and run like that black kid can. All I'm saying is it was done. And then the crazy part is all the schools literally right after that posted Happy Father's Day. And the jokes are starting to get old. Well, you can celebrate. You can't. All those players don't have fathers. Is that why you're not celebrating Happy Father? Like, you could do two things. You could do two things at the same time. Like, when did we become this way as Americans, where you can't do more than one thing? Like, it's crazy the things that, like, your life is that easy that you have to find something that obscure to get mad about.
You're lucky we don't make it last a week.
Right. Well, we gave them February. We got to share it. It's another Pride Month or some shit. Like it's like Gay Music Month or something like that. You don't see me going around, February, I got to share it with these people. Nah, cool. You go do your thing. I'm going to do my thing over here.
Your girl celebrate her birthday for a week.
Right. That's what I got. It's my birthday month. Damn, dog. Cool. You know what? I'm not celebrating your birthday for a month, but you flourish, queen. We celebrate all these made up other ethnic holidays that we celebrate with our chest as Americans. Do you not realize why some black people walk around angry? Cinco de Mayo, tequila, tacos, yay! You paint entire rivers green for St. Patty's Day. I don't even know what St. Patty's Day is, but you know what I'm going to do on St. Patty's Day?
Right.
I'm going to drink. You know what I'm going to do on Cinco de Mayo, which is not Mexican Independence Day. That's the crazy part is people are celebrating Mexican. That's not it. It's not their 4th of July. We just made it. I want to drink. President's Day. I'm going to drink. We had a whole goddamn celebration. We had a week-long Juneteenth celebration here at Goodfellas. Just because. It's another reason to celebrate. Be happy. They're going to make up more. They're going to make up more holidays, guys.
The alcohol industry will.
I'm going to tell you something. People in my generation, and some of you older people are going to be dead, so you're not going to have to worry about it.
God.
They're going to have a Barack Obama Day. I know you don't like him. You didn't vote for him. You didn't like your parents didn't like MLK either, but they're taking the day off and getting the money for it now. It's okay to not have an opinion about everything. It's just, it can't be that bad. It's not that bad. I promise you. But Father's Day for me was cool. I just been traveling. I have been traveling all over the place. Starting last Friday, was in Orlando. Had a great time at the timeshare. Spent more money again that I did not want to. Trying to be a good father. Being a good father is expensive. But chilled out. Tried to sleep, couldn't sleep. I'm gonna tell you this, man. Taking more than one 9-year-old on a vacation whew, is a practice in temperance and patience. But there's that. Then there is, I came home on Father's Day, traveled, I worked on Father's Day and Juneteenth. It was not free. I had things to do. It's all good. I like working, so that's how I celebrated my day, my special day. Then on Monday, I got up and we drove to Tallahassee, and we spent Monday and Tuesday going to Florida A&M and Florida State, respectively, doing tours. Shout out to Kaylin Deloach and Micanopy 1851 for setting that up. We'll have some video of Kaylin taking the kids on the tour of FSU. We also have shout out to Devin Respress, who did a great job giving us a tour of Florida A&M athletics. And Trey participated in the camp. Then I got back. As soon as I got back, I had to work. I had to pack clothes, work, hop a flight to Lexington, Kentucky, to where I got a chance to participate in a reality TV show, courtroom reality TV show. I can't tell you all the fine details until it airs, but in September, my sister sued me over Kai killing her fake plants or some shit like that. And his nickname's Killer. What do you expect him to do? I mean, the plant shouldn't have been talking shit. She says she talks to her plants. Kai didn't know who she was talking to. I think he heard her getting an argument. And so what he did was what his dad does, is he protect his auntie. Protect black women is the call that everybody makes. And Kai was protecting black women. So anyway, so we did that. It was a good time. I love catching up with my sister. It was fun. Lexington, I've been to Kentucky once, but I've never got a chance to like really be there. When you play sports on a high level, you travel a lot of places, but you never really get a chance to just like get and see the city. I didn't either, but I've never been to Lexington, Kentucky. It is boring, but it is nice and relaxing for me because I like boring. Like I like lame. The older I get, the lamer I want to become. Yes. I want to become Russell Wilson. Yeah. It doesn't mean you're not cool. It just means you don't do shit. Yeah. It just means you're corny to people who are out and about, and that's what life is about. I am over the I'm going to die young phase. I am encouraging and I want to become an old black man to the best of my ability. And them cats is corny, lame, obnoxious, and loud all at the same time until you hear some of their stories. Again, that's you people who have made being lame a bad thing because deep down in your heart, you know you dissed the lame dude in high school. But like lame dudes is winning. Shout out to Russ. But I went to Kentucky. So I flew into Charlotte, first class. There's no on American. There's no first class on this Wright Brothers plane that they put me on. I kid you not. I have been flying since I was 3 months old. I have never been afraid to get on the airplane. In fact, I've been on a plane that completely shut down before it took off. We lost to Miami in 2002. We were literally taxiing, and then funny thing is, I still don't believe cell phones have anything to do with the service. And the reason why I know, because I'd be on my cell phone, like when they're taking off. I've literally talked in the air for half a second before everything cut off. That's bullshit. I don't give a damn what you say if you're a pilot. I know the plane didn't crash when I was on it. So, but that happened, and half the team was like, and this was after 9/11, the year after 9/11. So half the team was like, fuck this, we're gone. And they bust them back 8 hours. I said, hell no, if I'm going to die, it's going to be quick. I'll be damned if I'm gonna get on a bus 8 hours, crank this bitch back up, whatever we got to do, and let's take off. And I stayed on it. I wasn't afraid to go back in the air because I knew that was an anomaly. Most people are safe, even though I'm starting to wonder because I'm hearing my pilots falling asleep and lack of shit. But whatever. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Ain't no way you can prevent it. I grew up in my generation. We saw the movie Final Destination. If you try to skip it, you know what? It's just gonna come back worse. So just get it over with. Bang and get it over with. But I was scared on this one because like I really felt like we got slingshotted into the air. Like we just had like the cartoons, we got to back the little rubber band up, and then that's how we got in the air. It was so tiny, and I'm a big guy. It was very condensed. But I got there. I landed at midnight, and then I had they had carrier service, so they drove me from the airport to the hotel, and then nobody told me when I had to wake up. So I got woke up by the producer of the show at like 6:30 in the morning, telling me that I gotta get downstairs and be checked out completely by 7:20. So we go and do that. We do the show. The show is for I was there from 7:30 to about 10. They didn't feed me. They gave me a little bit of coffee, but not my normal coffee. Then I go to the airport, go to Lexington Airport. My flight doesn't leave till 6 p.m. Allegedly. And I got to be there at 11. And I'm like, man, so I'm trying to change my flight. And they put me on standby. I can't get it. I miss it. So I go back and I'm like, cool. Now that I know I'm going to be here till 6, I'm going to eat. And I had a packed flight. So I needed to get to Charlotte. And then from Charlotte, I got back to Jacksonville. They just canceled my flight. This is the first time I've had to deal with the just cancellation of all flights. So just boom. And they didn't cancel it early. They canceled it at like 5:30. My 6 o'clock flight got canceled at 5. Actually, the first text, it got moved back to 7:20. They're telling me I'm going to miss my connection. Then 5 minutes later, nah, we changed our mind. We just don't want you to fly. We're good. So they had to, but luckily the people got me up. They sent me to Louisville. My sister was flying out at 8 o'clock at Louisville. So we got a chance to hang out a little bit more, spend some time with my siblings. You don't get enough of this stuff, guys. That's why, again, that's really why my rant about holidays was what it was. All holidays do is give you paid time to hang out with your family. Do you know how bad Americans are with this? All I hear my Christian friends say is that's what's wrong with America. We're not close enough as a family. They're separating the families. Every time God gives you an answered prayer to hang out with your family, you protest or you riot. Quarantine. If you would have just sat down 2 weeks, they said we would have been done. You didn't even give it a chance for 2 weeks. You protested the idea. How dare the government tell me I have to be around my badass kids? You just prayed. I don't know if you guys realize this. Again, I'm not sure where I fall on the spectrum, but I do know God doesn't answer prayers audibly. He answers prayers through people. And if he did, you'd be scared shitless. My favorite part is the Old Testament. When God was just talking to people randomly. You walk in and a burning bush just starts talking to you. You know how high you got to be for that kind of stuff to happen? It's raining and boom, a voice of thunder starts telling you, hey, what the hell you doing? But then again, God doesn't ever talk to you when you're doing the real bad stuff because he damn sure didn't come talk to David when he was banging Bathsheba on the rooftop pool.
Mysterious ways.
But you know what? Then again, that's respect. So he gonna let you get it in. He gonna get you afterwards, though. He gonna let you get it in. That being said, again, holidays. I got a chance to kick it with my sister. And I'm mad because airports keep giving you these options when you check in, like, hey, this plane is slightly overbooked. Would you be willing to give up your seat? Here, and they give you the options. I'd have took $800 to stay in Louisville. My boy Hove up there, Boosie, Derek Nicholson. I'd have been in Louisville hanging out for another night, and I'd have got back here eventually. Because all I did was come to a kid kicking me in the bed and nobody up. It was $8. I would have took that $800 gift. $800. No, I don't want no and a new flight.
What?
Yeah, man.
Local casino.
Exactly, bro. I would have been like, I want the first thing smoking out of Louisville, and I want to be, and I want my money. I want my money in singles because I'm going to the best adult chicken wing establishment that Louisville has. Matter of fact, I'm taking a picture with a statue of Ali. All right, so that was me catching up with you. So into sports. Again, Mike Norvell had a great camp. My sons participated in it. Both of them and my little cousin and Charles, Trey's best friend, all participated in it. I love telling people this story because a lot of people have a misconception about me personally, especially in the FSU fan base. I don't know why, but they believe that I don't like Mike Norvell. I have a really good relationship with Coach Norvell. I like Mike. The best thing you could do for me is treat my kids well. If I don't like you and you treat my kids good, more than likely you've won me over. But Coach Norvell, not just Coach Norvell, Coach Fuller, Coach Atkins, Coach Odell. Actually, I'll say all the coaches except for Tony Toka, but that's not Tony's fault. Tony just got here. Tony doesn't know Trey like that. But I think if he's here next year, Trey will get a better audience with him. So I'm not hating on. I know Tony, and Tony always treats me very well. Coach Fuller literally took the guys they went on the tour of the offices with Kalen DeLoach, starting linebacker at Florida State. And they go in Coach Fuller's office, and I'm not sure if this isn't a violation. Coach Fuller always gives Trey stuff. Like Coach Fuller gave Trey like some he got a slice of pizza. That's literally, people were like, why does your son like Coach Fuller? I'm like, he likes Coach Fuller because Coach Fuller always gives him. He's like, that's the coach that gave me pizza. That's my favorite coach. Coach Norvell has these really good life conversations with Trey. Like, it's like some deep stuff that they get into. And though and Kai is the reason why Coach Norvell works out. Because you got to get your legs up under Kai. Kai is not a tiny baby. That baby got some weight on him. So I say all that to say it's a very good run camp. But here's a little bit of what happened since I've been gone. So Florida State picked up 2 commitments. They got a defensive tackle that reclassified from the 2023 class to the 2022 class. He's about 6'4", 300 pounds, 17-year-old, very large individual, very large human being. Then you've got, I'm just going to call him Jazz, offensive lineman from South Carolina, who committed to Florida State. And here's one of the problems that I have with commitments. Not the kid's commitment, but it's in the announcing of commitments. Let the kid in the university announce the commitment first. In this age of being first, and I can't even lie to you, I've been on top of this. I give information in fifth quarter's Discord. I call it the ticker now, since everybody stole nuggets from me. So I just say it's the ticker, like the stock market ticker. But I'll tell people that a commitment is on the way. I'll tell you that I like it. You can read between the lines. I'll tell you that I like a kid committing to us over somebody else. But I would never officially announce a kid's commitment because that's the kid's time in the sun. They need to do that. War Chant has done this 2 times, really fucked us up once. The second time, they didn't. The kid was already sold, and I think we were the kid's best option. The first time was Chris Mims. I think it was Chris Mims. I might have said his name wrong, but he was a big time left tackle prospect out of the University of Georgia, who was transferring over. Had a great visit. War Chant goes and jumps over every publication to say that this kid committed, and the kid freaked out. He backed out of his commitment. And he was coming to Florida State. So, like, they weren't wrong. But we all had that information. Literally every outlet knew that this was happening. But you've been getting your ass whooped by everybody so much that you're trying to jump so that your subs stop bitching at you in the goddamn message boards. It's 2 things that War Chant subs do because I get the damn things. 247 does it too, but 247 is breaking news. You bitch about everybody else getting the news, and for some reason, everybody hates me in those message boards. Those are the 2 things that are consistent. That's the only thing that's getting you any love right now. It's literally fueling your site. People get in there to bitch about us breaking news, fifth quarter, 247, Tomahawk Nation. Who's my guys? Damn it, Logan and them. No Game Day. Like, all those guys breaking news. We all had the Mims information. This is how I know We were all talking to each other about it. We were giddy. We were excited. I couldn't wait. And then you did that, and we're like, oh, shit. This kid said one thing. He didn't want anybody to know. And then, like, all these other bad things happen. Like, the kid's best friend died in a car wreck. And then they're religious. It wasn't Chris Mims is a hooper. Damn it. His last name is Mims. It doesn't matter. But point is, all this shit happens. And then he decommits. And he's like, it's a sign from God. Y'all can't hold water. My friend dies. Georgia was there. I'm going to make money anyway. Blah, blah, blah. Yakety smack. It hurts. So you would think, man, that was a big blow. You learned your lesson. I learned my lesson from Bob Stoops. Again, he was ours until he wasn't. It happens. Things change. I just know I never speak indefinites about things like that. I broke my rule. So I learned a really quick lesson. War Chant damn near made the same exact mistake a month or two later. I'm at the Mike Norville youth camp. I see Quayshawn Sapp. Shout out to Mika Nopi, 1851 athlete. I see Julian Armella, who's a class of 22 kid. Both look good, by the way. People can't wait to see how they progress in practices and stuff. I see a recruit from out of the Orange Park area that was there hanging out. And then I'm not gonna lie to you, I just kind of forgot Quayshawn's face that quick. Sorry, Quayshawn, not putting myself out there. We'll work more together because, shout out to Chris for Spear Addicts. We'll work more together and that stuff will come together. And then I see another, because Quayshawn's got a beard. He's kind of light-skinned, and he's taller than me. He towers over me. He's not tall as Jazz, but he towers over me. And I've seen a lot of people, so I'm just like, all right, cool. I see another large offensive lineman type. I think it's Quayshawn. And Killer goes over to him because Killer gravitates to large black people because that's all he's been around most of his life is large people. So his godfather's white, but his godfather's like 6'7". I don't even know how much he weighs, but he engulfs me. I can tell you that. Love Toad. We go over there, and I'm like, hey, man, what's your name again? Because I didn't want to go say, what's up, Quayshawn? And then he's like, no, I'm not Quayshawn. Because that's what would have happened. That's the embarrassing shit. So he tells me, he's like, he says his full name, and just Jazz for short. I said, oh, man, congratulations, man. Thanks for committing. And you know what? This kid looked me dead in my eye and said, how'd you know I committed? I haven't said anything to anybody yet.
Ooh.
I was like, yo. I literally froze. So I had to do the best thing I can do as an ambassador, because what people don't fail to realize is this. My son doesn't have to be a Florida State fan. My son could go to whatever school he wants to go to outside of Miami and Florida. There's this thing called Getty Images. And when you type in James Coleman on Getty Images, Florida State shit pops up. I don't get to change my allegiance. I played at Florida State. I'm from Tallahassee. I love Florida State. We started the NIL company because I wanted to make sure athletes were getting proper representation, but bigger than that, how to handle yourself when you get this representation. I do fifth quarter media because I believe in athletes having their own voice and not people who are not of the culture, not black, athletic culture, speaking on athlete situations. Because I'm sorry, if you've never done a 110 in the Florida Heat, your ass don't know anything about being in shape. You ain't never been hit before. You don't deserve to call anybody soft. And a lot of y'all make up concepts that don't make any sense because it sounds good to the consumer. But as athletes, we talk different, we walk different, we vibe different. But I go over to him and I say, hey, man, listen, bro. And I showed him the tweet, which had since been deleted. Because, again, they broke the news when they weren't supposed to. And I told him this. I said, man, War Chant, and I explained to them the business. And see, this is what I do. So War Chant, 247, Tomahawk Nation, the Discord and No Game Day, all y'all motherfuckers bid our style at fifth quarter. This is what James Coleman does. Because James Coleman is a man of upstanding character. And I also know that ain't none of y'all going to try to tap my jaw. And some of y'all deserve to have your jaws tapped. I told him, man, don't blame War Chant, man. War Chant was doing their job, and they got a lead, and they were excited. And that happens in our business. I was like, we live in a subscription-based model, And the information, if you get the information first, it helps you. And I explained to him the media game as only somebody who's in it and who's been on the side that he's on can explain it to him. And what I told him was, man, hey, dog, this university is dope, bro. You're going to love it, baby. And he talked to me about some things and we chopped it up. And luckily, he had I think the deal had been finished. I was like, man, Tallahassee is great. I said, hey, man, as a player, I don't like everything, is between us. Man, I'd love to chop it up with you a little bit more. So just let me know. So that's kind of where things left with that, but it was scary. It was scary for a time. I thought we had lost another recruit due to us being excited, being overly excited. So like it's dope. I love it. I'm glad he's coming. I love what Coach Atkins is doing. Coach Atkins flexed on us too, man. He's like, James, I done brought in 10 offensive linemen in this cycle, man. He's like, this next cycle, I'm being real selective. I'm doing those things. I love Coach Atkins' demeanor. I think we need, as a fan base, hey, two things you need to do. Don't stop being the booster because the boosters pay the coaches. We need to pay Coach Atkins his worth. All right, we need to make sure when that contract negotiation time comes, baby, we're going to make it hard for you to leave here, huh? Also, donate to the different collectives. We don't need you to donate to pay athletes with Micanopy 1851. But if you go to the website, we're doing a speaker series and an educational series. Those places do cost for us to rent out the space. If you would like to help offset some of those costs, that's what we would love for for you to donate to that as well. But you have Rising Spear that does great things in the community. I'm not like what I do, but they do stuff a little bit more consistently. Clay, perfect, man. Loose lips, sink ships, man. I mean, it's just Tim, my bad. I owe you a call too, Tim. I ain't forgot about you, baby. But yes, I've had coaches say that all the time. Boy, you can fuck up a wet dream, which is very difficult to do. By the way, I haven't had those in a while, but for those of you who are afraid of your kids learning about experiences in life, I'm not the show to watch. I am what you fear public school is. I will tell your kid all the different things. I'm still waiting on that lesbian talk for my son's elementary school, by the way. But Florida State is doing very well. But there's something that was very interesting that came up. And if you want to, I'll give you the Twitter handle, Miles. She got it from ESPN, I believe. But it was still good nonetheless. And it was basically a breakdown of Florida State's schedule. And as it relates to what's going on. It's actually Caroline. I gotta find it. I thought I bookmarked it, but I guess I didn't. It was a long day yesterday.
Did you retweet it?
I did, but I've retweeted a lot of things. I've tweeted a lot of things since then. I thought I did. Or I commented on it.
Okay, yeah.
All right, damn. I know Dead Spaces sucks. Anyways, it's Florida State's schedule, and they gave a percentage or a likelihood of wins from it, based off of what was shown, and it was interesting. It was very, very interesting. The teams that they said that Florida State should lose to or had a greater chance to lose to over the ones that they said Florida State had a chance to win. I'm going to text message to you, Miles. I did an airdrop or trying to airdrop. Anyways,
Okay, I got it.
you got it? All right. It's and here it is I don't even know how to pronounce this team's name, but it's Duke-Ness or whatever. This the week 0 game. Florida State has a 99% chance of winning that game. Now they've got LSU, which LSU, by the way, is coming off a ton of players transferring out. In fact, they just had another player leave recently. But the chances of FSU beating LSU in New Orleans is 32%. Then they play at Louisville, and the chances of beating Louisville are 49%. Mind you, Louisville's is coming off of a losing season. They're not great. And I believe Florida State won last year's game. Boston College, 81%. Now, Boston College returns one of the leading passers in the ACC. Wake Forest, 59%. Mind you, Wake Forest returns one of the leading passers in the ACC. And Florida State lost to Wake Forest. NC State at 40%. Florida State lost to NC State. NC State's a solid ball club. I get it. Clemson at 21%. Florida State played Clemson very tough last year, but I get it. Talent differential greater. Georgia Tech at 84%. I can understand that one. Miami at 33%. Miami, a team that Florida State beat last year, that lost some significant pieces that didn't get drafted, but significant pieces nonetheless. Syracuse at 66%. Don't mind that because Syracuse still returns one of the best running backs in the nation. Louisiana Lafayette, where Florida's current head coach Billy Napier came from, there's an 84% chance that Florida State beats them. And the one that's very odd because Florida State lost to them, they returned Anthony Richardson, friend of Sports Den, really like the kid. And they have Gervin Dexter, one of the best defensive tackles in the nation, coming back. They have Florida State with a 57% chance of beating the University of Florida. Now, Florida has lost a lot, has a new head coach, but so does LSU. You're also playing Florida at the end of the season. So by that point, you know what you have as a team. You know your identity. You know what you are. That will be LSU's first game when Florida State plays in New Orleans. Now, Florida State will have a game against Duquesne or whatever the hell you say their name, Duquesne. But Florida State should not have to show a lot against them. It should not be a struggle if Florida State plays to the best of their ability. That's what I hope. So it won't be a lot. So it's kind of like the LSU, to have LSU at 32% and to have Florida at 57% is a bit odd. But even with this, if you're just going off of the odds saying that you have a greater chance or you have a higher probability of winning. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is basically saying that Florida State should at minimum go 7-5 with a toss-up, basically a pickup game with Louisville. So you really only have 3 sure losses against North Carolina State, Clemson, and Miami. When I go off of my predictions and when I make my stuff about what I think Florida State is or what they should be is typically based upon this model. 8 wins should be the floor. That's not the standard, but we can't get to the standard until we get to a certain reasonable expectations. Florida State has not been able to be that dominant for a while. In fact, Mike Farrell, who used to be of Rivals, discussed something, and it hurt, but it was really true. He stated that Florida State, and he also Florida, Miami, Nebraska, and a few others were once feared programs that nobody's afraid of anymore. So it's not like when I used to play, we used to do this walk to the good, the bad, and the ugly, or we would turn our backs on our opponents, put the helmet in the air, and show them our backside. We don't have that anymore. And unfortunately, it was an intimidation factor. Most of the teams that were intimidated once they saw us on the schedule before we ever played them. Now it's more of an opportunity to show yourself. Some of these guys are still mad that Florida State didn't recruit them. Some of them just really believe they can beat Florida State, which is sad. So as I tell the young guys over there, you got to earn. Respect is earned. Jealousy is earned. Nobody. Have you ever been jealous of a person that you didn't like that had less than you? Like, think about it. It's kind of the cliche thing is if you ain't got haters, you ain't popping. I hate it, but it's true. So again, that's when people talk about me in message boards in an uncouth light, that's the reason why we all know. Because at the end of the day, you cannot take away the feelings of joy that you probably got from your father when you watched me score touchdowns. That's probably the only time he hugged you, or he didn't touch you inappropriately. So, like, I mean, that's probably the only time. That's at least my solace on it. So. You can't hate me for that. So moving on from my alma mater, basically, hold on, I got a text message to see if there's any Okay, anyways, moving on from my alma mater to my hate o'clock, which is Jaguar related, which is hate o'clock brought by Green Acre Sporting Goods. Green Acre Sporting Goods, the go-to outdoor shop. I told Z I want to shoot some bows and arrows and shit. I'm tired of going up here. Actually, I kind of do, but I don't. I kind of do, but I don't, because I saw somebody try to shoot a bear with a bow and arrow, and it did not end well for them. Not smart. Recruiting stuff, but actually, it's two things: Jaguar related and then camp related. I don't know if I talked about. I couldn't have talked about it. We didn't do a Monday show, right?
No.
Yeah. So I couldn't have talked about it because this happened over the weekend. And it was my Friday's hate o'clock, but now it's positioned over here. It's more of a joyous before I get into the 8 o'clock. And the 8 o'clock is this. You know, when I tell you somebody's good, I ain't gassing you up, bro. It's literally the kid is good. And shout out to my kid, Jamie French. He went over to Texas A&M and ripped it up. And I gotta get some. They got some new Travis Scotts. Sorry about that. Sneakerhead in me came out.
Sorry about that.
That's what somebody was calling for. That's what somebody get these Travis Scotts. But stop charging these kids all this goddamn money for these camps. If watch the film, you come see them in person, and then use deductive reasoning. Alabama, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Georgia, if they've all offered, I'm going to take a wild guess. Maybe you should too. Georgia, Alabama played in most of these Ohio State played in a lot of national championships recently. Ohio State being wide receiver university. If they know something, I promise you don't know nothing know as much as they do. And stop backing out on people because you lack the ability to create and garner relationships. Go out here and earn and get some traction. Use the folks that you got, because I'm gonna tell you what. I like that kid. I like all my kids. Again, it's MFTK. It's fuck them kids. These kids is cool with me. Price of a brick done went up on Jamie French, man. Y'all better have a good NIL deal in hand, because I'm not finna let that. We're not gonna let that young man walk out and not get a bag. Speaking of bags, another thing that really bothers me in American history, or in our current American history, is the fact that people count other people's pockets so much. And they look for reasons to hate people who have made a come up or hit a lick, as they called it back in my day. Nothing's like that is for those of us who have invested in cryptocurrencies recently. So crypto market has crashed like a mug. It's been crazy how bad it's gone. I got into the crypto market back, I think trade was 3, so about 6 years ago. It was under, you could get a Bitcoin for under at one point during that summer, you can get it for $800, and it skyrocketed up to $20,000. I pulled out some of the money. Then it was a little bit easier because the numbers weren't as high, but I still have coins, so I'm still in the green. At one point this time last year, it was up until I believe it got to about 65,000 per coin. It's an imaginary number. I got news for you. All currency is an imaginary number. The value is placed on the person who holds it. Trevor Lawrence signed a deal to a cryptocurrency wallet, and they gave him his payment, his bonus, if you will, in cryptocurrency that was held in the wallet. This is why I say things like, I could tell who passed the FCAT in the reading comprehension portion, or who failed the SAT and the ACT, because reading is so fundamental. People took this contract that he had separately and assumed that he took his NFL bonus money and put it in this crypto wallet. So there's been reports all over, started by Barstool. So first and foremost, that's your issue right there. Is that you listen to Barstool for breaking news first. Is that Trevor Lawrence lost $15 million in his bonus by asking the Jaguars to put it in cryptocurrency. That never happened. Trevor took to Twitter the other day and said, "You guys thought I put my signing bonus into cryptocurrency?" And basically saying, "Oh, now I see why you're stupid." And people took to Twitter to make these comments about this man. They bashed him. They laughed at him. They called him stupid. They say he's already making bonehead decisions. How can we trust him doing these things? When at the reality is, so what if he did? Your investments are only worth something if you pull them out. In theory, I'll tell you something that I did boneheaded. I put in the year 2020, we're in 23, 2021, toward the latter half, I had a little bit of money stocked up. So I did what people have been telling me my entire life to do. I went into sound investing and I bought stocks that I thought were what blue chip A1 stocks that I thought were going to do good. Do you know what's also happening right now? The stock market is getting its ass whooped. Don't know if you've realized it, but everything is more expensive and everything is going down right now. So had he put this into investment, traditional investments, he would be hurting just as bad. The difference is anybody who's been involved in Bitcoin knows, just as anybody who's been involved in the stock market knows, that there's ebbs and flows. It will never bottom out to as bad as it was when I got in at first with Bitcoin. And it may or may not. I never thought it would get over 20,000 again, except for it got to 67,000. And you know what people were able to do? People who are smarter than me, they were able to leverage that money that was in those crypto wallets into real tangible capital. You know what? Somebody who else is doing that right now? The owner of Tesla. He was supposed to buy Twitter based upon leveraging what his stock options were. Not any real money. It's what was in the bank. It's what people with money do. But you know what people with money don't do? They don't watch somebody else's pockets. Don't pocket watch. And even if he lost it, he's gonna get it right back. No amount of hate that you could do for Trevor Lawrence or cheering his downfall will ever make $15 million appear in your pocket. I don't understand that. It's really, really weird. Something else I don't understand is the people who say that again, traditionalists. The PGA Tour is not adapting, and right now they're going the way of Blockbuster. This is the beginning signs of it. This LIV Tour over with the Saudi Arabians is coming in, and they are snatching up people. I believe they're going to go circle back to Tiger and say 1 billion wasn't enough. What about 2? And what I love more than anything is when people try to stand on this stuff. The last one they got, I think, is Brooks Koepka. I love the tradition of the PGA Tour. I don't see myself leaving. Then they dropped the bag, and you know what he said? Deuces. Nobody does it better. Nobody turns coat for money. Like, because I have some friends who are like this too. Frat boys. I'll put it like that. Frat boys, right? Nobody twerks and switches more for money than frat boys. And it is so hilarious to me because like I got some that will, because they do it on the other side. Like they're so pro the culture and everything until the culture switches on them, and the next thing you know, they're staunch, hard working Republicans. But like this man went and just twerked that ass, threw that ass in a circle for LIV, and people are just like, well, I can't believe he would go. The Saudis are buying these players with blood money. And we already know what the PGA Tour's demographic is. You've got some nerve to talk about buying things with blood money. Bitch, have you ever been to Augusta? You don't think Augusta National used to be? You don't think there was some cotton picking going on around there? Most of the stuff, America was built on blood money. I'm not hating it. It's just what it was. The thing about history is sometimes it just is what it is, baby. Like y'all always say, when it's convenient, you got to move forward. That money cash. And that ain't the type of money that jingles. That shit fold. I mean, I would tell you too, come get me, LIV. I will be a caddy all day. It's just, like you got right now, you've got the Washington Commanders owner, Bill Snyder, being the target of a congressional investigation on basically discriminating against women and you're worried about what some Saudi Arabian billionaires are doing? Stop pocket watching, man. Stop it. It's unbecoming. It's not masculine. It's but it is funny though, because I wonder how many people were just dead set against all of this, and then now they're all for it. And my last hate o'clock is this. I am a proponent for right is right and wrong is wrong. And oh man, I'll tell you what you can get. It's kind of bad timing, but anyways, I don't like when people get up. I have politicians that are my friends. Tomorrow, after we do our show, I will be emceeing with my boy Chris Porter the inauguration of one of my good friends as the president of the city council, Terrence Freeman. I've sat numerous times, went to go watch Elton John in our mayor's box. And he also hooked me up with the box for the Young Jeezy concert. Shout out to Lenny. And Lenny is one of my biggest supporters for my back to school drop. A lot of these men I know as men away from what they do politically. So I've got a chance to get to know them. I don't know this other mayor personally, but I do like to believe that if something ever tragically happened in Jacksonville like that, it would not be overly trying to protect the interest of others involved. This mayor of Texas, that every blood's darling child, poked his chest out, talked about what they were doing. Matter of fact, when Betty O'Rourke, or however you say the guy's name, who's a senator who ran for governor of Texas, which I think now if he runs now he'll win. He actually went and said, "Why don't y'all stop playing politics and start getting answers and demanding it?" And they literally told him he had some nerve. Well, now he's doing a 180. He literally thrown everybody under the bus. These were his comments. This isn't me saying he's throwing people under the bus. These are his comments. "I'm going to be throwing people under the bus tonight in a speech because for too long we've been told we can't talk, we can't answer, we can't say anything. Today, that's over with." He says the DPS colonel lied about the events that took place the day of the shooting. The information, again, turned out to be false. Then on May 27th, Colonel McGraw did another press conference. Once again, information was contradicted from the previous press conferences, causing more confusion as part of the data was false also. He has continued, whether you want to call it a lie, leak, a lie leak, misleading and mistaking information in order to distance his own troopers and rangers from the response. Every briefing he leaves out the number of his own officers and rangers that were on the scene that day. This is causing mass confusion between them, and it's actually starting to have common sense gun legislation come into place. And now you've got cats like Marjorie Greene Taylor calling out stalwarts in the Republican Party, saying that they need to be voted out because they're suggesting that you be 21 years old to be able to own an AR-15, and that if you're under the age of 18, they'd be able to look into all of your juvenile records and certain things before they allow you to have a gun. Now, the only good thing that came out of this that made any sense is that they're going to demolish the school or they're going to repurpose it. They don't want to let anybody else come into the school after
Realtor.com
those
is
things
guaranteed
happen.
the funnest way to search.
My hate on that is, why does it have to be politicized? Why can't we just look at the situation where some kids died and police officers were cowards and make changes based upon that? Sometimes you can look at a situation and realize that that's wrong. That shouldn't have happened that way. What can we do to change things to make sure it doesn't happen that way again? Are we that far removed? Like, are we that afraid to do what's right that kids got to suffer? Because if that's the case, you shouldn't worry about if your child is being taught binary, non-binary. If your child's being taught about sexual liberation, if your child's being taught that this person's evil and that person's evil, because you know what? Kids are way smarter than you give them credit for. They're looking at you and telling that you're the evil one. If that's how far removed we are. And you're talking to a guy that loves guns and is going to buy himself birthday guns. And for that, and for that, here are the guns that I'm going to purchase myself from Green Acre Sporting Goods in this month of July. I'm getting myself a Canik 9mm. I'm getting another pump shotgun. And I'm after they show me how to shoot a crossbow. I want a fucking crossbow for some reason. I don't know why. It just feels like, I should have a crossbow. But you know what else I'm gonna buy? I'm gonna buy a safe so I can make sure that my stuff is stored properly, so that my children can see proper gun ownership and not just gun ownership. That being said, those are the things that you could get from Green Acre Sporting Goods. I think it's $399 for the Canik, or it's $299 for the Taurus. Go get that $380. People pick on them. That little bit got some power, man. And they got bullets. And I will say, with President Biden decreasing production mandatory by 30%, the price of a brick is going to go up. The price of bullets are going to go up. So make sure you're taking advantage of that while you can. On that note, we got a book bag drive coming up. Love for everybody to participate in it. Right now, we're about a 10th of the way in. The goal, I'll tell you the goal. I haven't said the number because I'm afraid of it, because it's a little intimidating. 77,000. That is the goal. To be able to do everything that we need to do. 2,500 book bags at about $36 a piece. Might be a little bit less than that, but that's right where we're at. We've got, and that's not including our big donors. I've got 5,000 followers on Twitter. I've got about 5,000 friends on Facebook, a bunch of different ways. I put it like this: if everybody gives $2, if I'm thinking correctly, maybe it's $2. Yeah, am I saying that right? Make sure y'all correct me. I think I'm wrong on that. Way wrong. It's a 20. Anyways, if I know this for a fact. If 2,000, I want 2,500 book bags, right? I got it. Yeah, 2,500 book bags. If I get half of my followers give $36, ooh, that'd be way more than what I need. That'd be $90,000. Give me, I promise you, it'll go to where it needs to go. That'd be dope if we raise $90,000. If I got, let's see, what do we need to get? 5,000? Nope. Is that 20? Nope, that's too much. If half of y'all, if all of y'all gave $13, that'd be great. Oh, that's what it was. On Facebook, I have 36,000 followers on Facebook. On the things, if 36,000 of y'all gave $2, it'll be good. If you go on to Cash App, it's MFTK36. Venmo is MFTK Foundation. PayPal, MFTKFoundation@gmail.com. And if you got questions, just hit me up at Big Game James _36. We also have a Facebook fundraising page that's there as well. If you go to mftkfoundation.com, you can go see all the pictures from the last 2 years of giveaways. This is our third one. It's probably one of the few foundations that you'll give to where well over 90% goes toward the actual cause. I don't take any admin fees. I do pay Brittany with Christie Philanthropy to make sure that it's well run. And if you want to know what we're doing, also, we're taking this and we're going to branch out. My guy Grimes is a coach up in the Atlanta area, and I'm going to take Isaiah Land, who's a client of mine. We're going to do a book bag giveaway in Atlanta. We're going to take Michaela Edenfield. We're going to do a book bag drive in Sneeds, Florida. My one in Tallahassee would be August 6th with a football camp August 7th. My one here in Jacksonville will be July 30th with a football camp July 31st. And we're going to ask we're going to probably give one in Savannah with Kaylin Deloach. It'll be in different areas, and I believe in athletes giving back. We're going to empower, and show people the real side of what most athletes are. Because sports is a microcosm of society. Everybody is not on Twitter, and everybody on Twitter is not an asshat. So I say that to say it's the vocal majority that we know of, and there's a vocal minority, that's the bad guys. It's the silent majority of the people that you develop really good, meaningful relationships with. It's the same thing with athletes. You see the few and you project that on the many. Most student athletes are humble, come from humble means, and they want to do the right thing for themselves and families and the community. So there's 3 things that you guys can do for us with that. I'm going to end every show until we finish this. And that's with time, talent, and treasure. Time, we always need volunteers in any of these different places. All it takes is you giving your time. If you have a high school athlete that needs volunteer hours, you do it, you square it up with me. I promise you I'll give them whatever they need. Talent. Your talent is a share. It's kind of like what I asked you guys to do with this, to try to give you money and you don't do it. Hell, our Father's Day show might have been the least watched show. If I'd have done the Juneteenth show, it probably got millions of views. I'm going to figure that out next year. But your talent is your reach, your organization, stuff in bags. That's also volunteering. But for you to take the post that we have, share it. If you have a business that needs to do community service, that gets tax write-offs, we're 501c3. We need that. That's your talent and your treasure. It's $36 per book bag, and we're and that book bag should also that also gives food. So the book bag is for individual kids. Multiple families come up here. We're going to probably feed about 1,000 families. So that $36 covers food, school supplies, and all the different things necessary to make sure this thing goes. Just think about all the different things that we waste to spend money on. This would be a good feel. You don't have to give it. I don't need everybody to give all the money, but if we all do a little bit, we can get a lot of bit done. And on that note, man, we'll see you guys tomorrow or on Friday. Have a great rest of your day. This Friday Eve. That's just the day before Friday. So and hopefully we'll kickstart a great weekend going into a great last week of June. Y'all be blessed.